The galactic stage. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, humanity had finally achieved its long-held dream of venturing beyond the solar system. It was the year 2157, and Earth's first interstellar expedition, led by the intrepid Captain Elena Rodriguez, had made contact with the Galactic Confederation. A loose alliance of advanced alien civilizations had been observing humanity's progress for centuries. The initial excitement of first contact quickly gave way to a harsh reality. Humanity, despite its rapid technological advancements, was still considered a fledgling species by galactic standards. The Confederation's member races, some of which had been traversing the stars for millennia, viewed humans with a mixture of curiosity and condescension. Captain Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Earth-ship Horizon, Earth's most advanced vessel and the pride of the human fleet. She gazed out at the sprawling space station that served as the Confederation's headquarters, its crystalline structures glimmering against the backdrop of a violet nebula. The horizon, while impressive by Earth standards, looked like a child's toy next to the massive ships of the other races. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Confederation Council," reported Lieutenant Akira Tanaka, the ship's communication officer. His voice betrayed a hint of nervousness that Rodriguez knew they all felt. "On screen," she ordered, straightening her uniform and squaring her shoulders. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a panel of alien faces. At the center sat High Counselor Zixara, a towering, azure-skinned being with 4 arms and eyes that seemed to glow with an inner light. "Greetings, Captain Rodriguez." Zixara's voice resonated with a musical quality that belied the coolness in their eyes. "The Confederation welcomes Earth to the galactic community. We have reviewed your petition for membership and have come to a decision." Rodriguez felt her heart race. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the chance for humanity to join the ranks of spacefaring civilizations, to learn and grow alongside beings of unimaginable diversity and knowledge. "Thank you, High Counselor," she responded, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "We eagerly await your decision." Zixara's upper set of arms made a gesture that Rodriguez's translation software identified as one of reluctant acquiescence. "The Confederation has decided to grant Earth provisional membership status. You will be allowed limited access to our shared knowledge bases and trade routes. However, full membership and voting rights will be withheld until your species has proven its worthiness." The condescension in Zixara's tone was unmistakable. Rodriguez felt a flash of anger, but quickly suppressed it. They needed this opportunity, no matter how grudgingly it was given. "We are grateful for this opportunity, High Counselor," she replied diplomatically. "Earth looks forward to proving its value to the Confederation." As the transmission ended, Rodriguez turned to her crew. She saw a mixture of emotions on their faces: disappointment, frustration, but also determination. "Well," she said with a wry smile, "it's a start." Over the next few months, the crew of the Horizon and the small fleet of support ships that had accompanied them worked tirelessly to establish Earth's presence in the galactic community. They set up a modest embassy on the space station, began participating in cultural exchange programs, and eagerly absorbed as much knowledge as they were allowed access to. But at every turn, they faced skepticism and often outright mockery from the other races. The Vexillor, a race of silicon-based lifeforms, scoffed at human biology, calling them fragile water sacks. The Cronin, masters of faster-than-light travel, laughed at Earth's warp drive technology, comparing it to a child's first steps. Perhaps most frustrating was the attitude of the Arxa, a race of highly evolved reptilians who dominated the Confederation's military forces. They dismissed human combat capabilities entirely, referring to Earth's fleet as the tiny toys. Despite these setbacks, Rodriguez and her team persevered. They knew that humanity had faced overwhelming odds before and had always found a way to surpass expectations. They just needed a chance to prove themselves. That chance came sooner than anyone expected, and in a form that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Confederation. It began with a series of mysterious attacks on the outer rim of Confederation space. Entire colonies went dark, communication relays were destroyed, and even some of the Confederation's military outposts fell silent. At first, the Confederation dismissed these incidents as the work of pirates or some unknown cosmic phenomenon. But as the attacks increased in frequency and scale, a chilling reality began to set in. This was no random occurrence. It was a coordinated assault by an unknown force of terrifying power. The Confederation Council convened an emergency session to which Earth's representatives were grudgingly invited. Captain Rodriguez stood before the assembled alien dignitaries, listening as reports of devastation poured in from across the galaxy. High Counselor Zixara's normally composed demeanor was shaken. "We are facing an unprecedented threat," they announced, their voice trembling slightly. "Our long-range sensors have detected a massive fleet approaching from the galactic core. They do not match any known configuration, and they have not responded to any attempts at communication." The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices, each species expressing fear and confusion in their own unique way. Rodriguez watched as the mighty Confederation, which had seemed so unshakable just months ago, began to fracture under the weight of this new threat. In that moment, she saw an opportunity, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. Humanity had always thrived in the face of adversity, had always found innovative solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. Perhaps this was their chance to show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. As the council devolved into arguments and recriminations, Rodriguez stepped forward. "High Counselor," she called out, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Earth requests permission to lead a reconnaissance mission to gather more information about this new threat." The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to the human captain. Zixara regarded her with a mixture of surprise and skepticism. "Captain Rodriguez, while we appreciate your enthusiasm, this is hardly a task for an untested species. Our most advanced ships have already failed to penetrate the enemy's defenses." Rodriguez stood her ground. "With all due respect, High Counselor, sometimes a fresh perspective is exactly what's needed in a crisis. Our ships may be smaller and less advanced, but that also makes them more maneuverable and harder to detect. We have experience in guerrilla tactics and asymmetric warfare that might prove valuable in this situation." The ARXA representative, a towering reptilian named Skiff, let out a hissing laugh. "You propose to send your tiny toys against this unknown menace. Perhaps they will bore our enemy to death with their primitive technology." Rodriguez felt her temper flare, but she kept her voice level. "Mock us if you will, but remember this, humanity has faced extinction-level threats before. We've stared into the abyss and not only survived but thrived. We may be new to your galactic stage, but we are not new to fighting for our existence." Her words seemed to strike a chord with some of the council members. Murmurs of consideration rippled through the chamber. Zixara raised all four hands for silence, their glowing eyes fixed on Rodriguez. "Very well, Captain," they said after a long moment. "The Confederation will grant your request. But understand this, if you fail, if your ships are destroyed or worse, captured by this unknown enemy, Earth will bear the responsibility. Your species standing in the Confederation will be irreparably damaged." Rodriguez nodded solemnly. "We understand the risks, High Counselor, and we accept them." As she left the council chamber, Rodriguez's mind was already racing with plans. She knew that the eyes of the galaxy would be upon them, watching to see if the humans would fail spectacularly or somehow, against all odds, succeed. Back on the horizon, she gathered her crew and the captains of the other Earth ships. "This is our moment," she told them, her voice filled with determination. "Not just to prove ourselves to the Confederation, but to protect our new home in this galaxy. We're going to show them what humanity is truly capable of." As the small fleet of Earth ships prepare for their mission, word spread throughout the Confederation. Many scoffed at the humans' audacity, betting on how quickly their ships would be destroyed. Others watched with curious interest, wondering if these newcomers might have some trick up their sleeves. Little did they know that humanity was about to change the course of galactic history. The tiny fleet that everyone mocked was about to embark on a mission that would reshape the balance of power in the Milky Way and prove once and for all that size isn't everything in the face of human ingenuity and determination. As the Earth ships disappeared into the depths of space, heading towards the unknown threat, the galaxy held its breath. The stage was set for a confrontation that would be remembered for millennia to come, the day when humanity showed the stars what it meant to be human. The unforeseen threat. As Captain Elena Rodriguez's small fleet of Earth ships ventured into the unknown, the Galactic Confederation waited with bated breath. The human vessels, dubbed the Tiny Toys by many, pushed their experimental stealth systems to the limit, slipping through the vast emptiness of space like ghosts in the night. Lieutenant Zara Chen, the Horizon's chief science officer, hunched over her console, her eyes darting across streams of data. "Captain," she called out, her voice tense with excitement, "I'm picking up some bizarre energy signatures ahead. Nothing like we've ever seen before." Rodriguez leaned forward in her command chair, her heart racing. On screen, Lieutenant. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that made the entire bridge crew gasp in unison. Before them loomed a massive structure, easily the size of a small moon, but with a geometry that defied conventional understanding. It seemed to shift and writhe, as if it were alive, its surface a kaleidoscope of impossible colors. "By all that's holy," whispered Commander Adebayo, the first officer. "What are we looking at, Captain?" Rodriguez shook her head, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. "I'm not sure, Aide, but I think we've just found our unforeseen threat." As they watched, smaller objects began to detach from the massive structure. These too defied easy categorization, their forms twisting and changing as they moved. "Multiple contacts," shouted Lieutenant Tanaka from the tactical station. "They're heading our way, fast." Rodriguez's mind raced. Their mission was reconnaissance, not engagement. But something told her that running wasn't an option. "Battle stations," she ordered. "All ships, prepare for combat, but hold your fire until I give the word." The crew sprang into action, the Horizon and its sister ships forming a defensive formation. As the alien entities approached, Rodriguez could feel the tension on the bridge ratcheting up to almost unbearable levels. Suddenly, a beam of energy lanced out from one of the alien objects, narrowly missing the horizon. The ship rocked from the near miss, alarms blaring. "Return fire," Rodriguez commanded. "All ships, engage at will." What followed was unlike any battle in human history. The Earth ships started and weaved, their smaller size and superior maneuverability proving to be unexpected advantages. Human ingenuity shone as the crews adapted on the fly, discovering that rapid changes in shield frequency could disrupt the alien weapons. But for every small victory, the humans faced a new challenge. The alien entities seemed to learn and adapt with terrifying speed, changing tactics faster than any organic mind could conceive. "Captain," Jen called out, her voice filled with a mix of awe and terror. "These things, I don't think they're ships. At least, not in any way we understand. They're showing signs of quantum entanglement on a massive scale. It's like they're a single organism spread across multiple bodies." Rodriguez's mind reeled at the implications. They weren't just facing an advanced alien race. They were up against something that challenged their very understanding of life and consciousness. As the battle raged on, Rodriguez made a decision that would change the course of the conflict. "All ships, initiate Protocol Omega," she ordered. Protocol Omega was a last resort tactic, one that the Confederation races had dismissed as suicide when the humans had proposed it. It involved deliberately overloading the ship's warp cores in a precise sequence, creating a cascading subspace rupture. The human ships began to glow with an otherworldly light as their warp cores pushed beyond safe limits. The alien entities, sensing the buildup of energy, began to withdraw. "Now," Rodriguez shouted. In a blinding flash of light, the subspace rupture exploded outward. When the glare faded, the alien entities were gone, seemingly swallowed by the rift in space-time. For a moment, there was stunned silence on the bridge of the horizon. Then, slowly, shields began to erupt as the realization of what they had accomplished sank in. But Rodriguez knew their victory was far from complete. They had won a battle, but the war was just beginning. And they had glimpsed an enemy beyond anything the galaxy had ever faced before. As the battered Earth fleet limped back to Confederation space, Rodriguez prepared herself for the next challenge, convincing the galactic community to unite against this threat. The tiny toys had proven their worth, but the real test was yet to come. Little did anyone realize that this encounter would spark a chain of events that would revolutionize not just warfare, but the very nature of galactic civilization. The unforeseen threat had awakened something in humanity, a drive to innovate, to push boundaries, and to challenge the impossible. As news of the human victory spread across the stars, the galaxy watched in stunned disbelief. The tiny fleet that everyone had mocked had just accomplished what the mightiest Confederation battleships couldn't, and this was only the beginning of humanity's journey to reshape the cosmos. Humanity's ingenuity unleashed. The return of Captain Elena Rodriguez and her fleet to Confederation space was met with a mixture of disbelief, awe, and newfound respect. The grainy footage of their encounter with the alien entities, dubbed the Quantum Collective by Lieutenant Chen, spread like wildfire across the galactic information networks. As the battered Earthship docked at the Central Space Station, Rodriguez and her crew found themselves thrust into the spotlight. The same alien races that had mocked them mere weeks ago now clamored for information, desperate to understand how the humans had succeeded where their advanced technologies had failed. High Counselor Zixara called an emergency session of the Confederation Council, this time with Captain Rodriguez given a place of honor at the center of the chamber. The atmosphere crackled with tension and excitement as Rodriguez recounted their encounter and the desperate gambit that had saved them. Protocol Omega, Rodriguez explained, her voice steady despite her exhaustion, was born for an old Earth tactic called a crazy Ivan. It's about doing the unexpected, turning a disadvantage into an advantage. We realized that our less advanced warp drives, when pushed beyond their limits in a specific sequence, could create a subspace rift that the Quantum Collective couldn't predict or counter. The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, each race trying to comprehend the implications of this revelation. Sith, the ARXA representative who had been one of humanity's most vocal critics, hissed in begrudging admiration. Perhaps, he said, his forked tongue flicking out, we were hasty in our judgment of your species' potential. But Rodriguez knew that their victory, impressive as it was, had only bought them time. The Quantum Collective will return, she warned the council. And next time they'll be prepared for our tactics. We need to innovate, to push beyond the boundaries of our current technology and understanding. Her words sparked a fire in the hearts and minds of not just her fellow humans, but many of the alien races as well. The next few months saw an unprecedented era of cooperation and innovation across the Confederation. Earth opened its doors to alien scientists and engineers, sharing ideas and technologies in a free exchange that would have been unthinkable before. The humans' primitive approach to problem-solving, their ability to think outside the box and challenge established norms, proved to be exactly what the stagnant Confederation needed. Dr. Aisha Patel, a brilliant Indian physicist, led a joint human-alien team in developing what she called quantum entanglement disruption fields. These fields, based on the principles observed in Protocol Omega, could potentially sever the connection between the individual units of the quantum collective, rendering them vulnerable. Meanwhile, Captain Rodriguez worked closely with ARXA military strategists to develop new battle tactics that combined human unpredictability with alien advanced technology. The result was a revolutionary approach to space warfare that came to be known as swarm chaos theory. But perhaps the most groundbreaking development came from an unexpected source. Kai Nakamura, a young Japanese programmer who had been part of the Horizon's IT team, had an epiphany while studying the quantum collective's behavior patterns. They're not just a collective, Kai explained to a rapt audience of human and alien experts. They're a living algorithm, constantly evolving and adapting. But every algorithm has a base code, a fundamental set of rules it can't break. If we can decipher that code, we might be able to predict their actions, maybe even communicate with them. Kai's insight led to the creation of the Babel Protocol, a revolutionary AI system designed to analyze and interpret the quantum collective's actions in real time. It was a monumental undertaking, combining human intuition, alien processing power, and bleeding-edge machine learning algorithms. As these innovations took shape, the atmosphere across the Confederation changed. The fear and despair that had gripped the galaxy in the wake of the quantum collective's initial attacks gave way to a sense of cautious hope. For the first time in millennia, the various races of the Confederation were united in purpose, driven by the infectious enthusiasm and determination of their human allies. But even as they prepared for the inevitable return of the quantum collective, questions lingered. What was the true nature of this strange, distributed intelligence? What were its goals? And could it be reasoned with, or was conflict the only possible outcome? The answers to these questions would soon reveal themselves as the galaxy stood on the brink of a confrontation that would determine the fate of all sentient life. The tiny fleet that had once been mocked had set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the very fabric of galactic civilization. As Captain Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of the newly christened Earth ship Prometheus, the most advanced vessel ever created by the combined efforts of humanity and their alien allies, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride tinged with trepidation. They had come so far in such a short time, but their greatest challenge still lay ahead. "Captain," Lieutenant Chen's voice came over the comm. "Long-range sensors are picking up anomalous readings. It looks like they're back." Rodriguez took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. The moment of truth had arrived. It was time to see if humanity's ingenuity, combined with the united efforts of the Confederation, would be enough to face the quantum collective once more. As alert klaxons began to sound throughout the ship, Rodriguez allowed herself a small, determined smile. Whatever happened next, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. The era of human innovation had begun, and its echoes would resonate across the cosmos for eons to come. The turning tide. The return of the quantum collective was heralded not by the thunderous roar of engines or the flash of weapons fire, but by an eerie silence that swept across the galaxy. Subspace communications faltered, quantum entanglement sensors went haywire, and for a brief, terrifying moment, it seemed as if the very fabric of space-time held its breath. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. The ship, a marvel of human and alien engineering, hummed with barely contained power. Around her, a fleet of vessels representing every race in the Confederation hung in formation, a united front against the impending storm. "Babel Protocol is online, Captain," reported Kai Nakamura, his fingers dancing across his console. "We're already picking up data streams from the collective." Rodriguez nodded, her heart racing. "What are they saying, Kai?" The young programmer's brow furrowed in concentration. "It's complex. The collective isn't just communicating, Captain. It's calculating, predicting, analyzing on a scale I've never seen before. It's like they're simulating entire universes in microseconds." Before Rodriguez could respond, the view screen exploded with light. The quantum collective had arrived, its impossible geometries twisting the very light around them. But this time, the Confederation was ready. "All ships execute Swarm Chaos Maneuver Alpha," Rodriguez commanded. The fleet burst into action, breaking formation in a dizzying array of seemingly random movements. To an outside observer, it might have looked like panic, but each ship's trajectory had been carefully calculated to create a three-dimensional maze of ever-changing vectors. The quantum collective's response was immediate and devastating. Beams of energy that defied conventional physics lanced out, twisting and turning to follow the Confederation ships. But for every hit they scored, a dozen more ships slipped through their net. On the Prometheus, Dr. Aisha Patel worked feverishly at her station. "Quantum entanglement disruption fields at full power," she reported. "We're seeing localized collapses in the collective's network, but they're adapting faster than we anticipated." Rodriguez gritted her teeth. They had known this wouldn't be easy, but the sheer computational power of the collective was staggering. "Kai, what's the Babel protocol telling us?" Kai's eyes widened as he processed the incoming data. "Captain, I don't think the collective is trying to destroy us. At least, not entirely. They're curious. We're presenting a problem they can't immediately solve, and it's exciting them." This revelation sent shockwaves through the bridge. The idea that this cosmic horror, this existential threat to all life in the galaxy, might be driven by something as recognizable as curiosity was both terrifying and oddly hopeful. "Can we communicate with them?" Rodriguez asked, her mind racing with possibilities. Kai nodded slowly. "I think so. But it won't be like anything we've ever done before. We'd be opening a direct link to their consciousness. The amount of data, it could overwhelm our systems, maybe even our minds." Rodriguez took a deep breath. This was the moment that would define not just the battle, but perhaps the future of all sentient life in the galaxy. "Do it," she ordered. As Kai initiated the communication protocol, the battle around them seemed to slow. The quantum collective's attacks became less focused, more exploratory. It was as if they sensed the attempt at communication and were adjusting their approach. Suddenly, the bridge of the Prometheus was flooded with light. Every screen, every holographic display, even the very air itself seemed to shimmer with data. Rodriguez felt a presence in her mind, vast and alien, yet undeniably alive. Images flashed before her eyes: the birth of stars, the collision of galaxies, the intricate dance of subatomic particles. She saw the history of the quantum collective, a race so ancient they had transcended physical form, becoming one with the quantum fabric of the universe itself. But with this profound understanding came a chilling revelation. The collective wasn't evil, wasn't even truly malevolent. They simply operated on a scale so vast that the lives of individual beings, even entire civilizations, were negligible to them. Their actions, which seemed destructive to the Confederation, were merely the collective's way of exploring and expanding their understanding of the universe. With a Herculean effort, Rodriguez forced her own thoughts through the link. She showed the collective the diversity of life in the galaxy, the beauty of individual consciousness, the power of cooperation between different species. She made them understand that in their quest for knowledge, they were destroying something precious and irreplaceable. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, there was no response. The battle outside hung in frozen tableau, every being in the galaxy linked in this singular moment of communication. Then, slowly, the presence in Rodriguez's mind began to change. The vast, impersonal intelligence of the collective fractured into billions of individual consciousnesses, each one awakening to the reality of the smaller-scale universe around them. The attack stopped. The twisting, writhing forms of the collective's ships began to reshape themselves, taking on more recognizable geometries. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Kai let out a whoop of joy. "They're responding to us, Captain. The Babel protocol is translating. They're asking to talk. Really talk, not just whatever that was we just experienced." Rodriguez sagged in her chair, relief washing over her. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity's ingenuity, combined with the united strength of the Confederation, had turned the tide. As the first official communication from the transformed quantum collective came through, Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy was entering a new age, one of unparalleled discovery and cooperation. The tiny fleet that everyone had mocked had not only saved the galaxy, but had opened the door to a future beyond anyone's wildest imagination. The battle was over. But the real adventure was just beginning. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive newcomers, had proven themselves to be the catalyst for a transformation that would echo across the cosmos for eons to come. The age of isolation was over. The age of true galactic community had begun. A new galactic order. The days following the transformation of the quantum collective were a whirlwind of activity, marked by equal parts celebration and trepidation. The Galactic Confederation, once a loose alliance of often squabbling races, found itself at the center of a cosmic renaissance. Captain Elena Rodriguez, now hailed as the great communicator across the galaxy, stood before the Confederation Council. The chamber, once a place of political maneuvering and thinly veiled contempt, now buzzed with an energy of unity and purpose. Representatives of the Galactic Confederation, Rodriguez began, her voice carrying the weight of recent events. We stand at a crossroads unlike any in the history of our universe. The integration of the quantum collective into our galactic community presents challenges and opportunities beyond our wildest imaginings. The council chamber, expanded to accommodate the holographic representations of the collective's newly individualized members, hummed with agreement. The collective, once a terrifying monolith of cosmic power, had fragmented into billions of unique consciousnesses. Each one possessed knowledge spanning eons, but now tempered with a newfound appreciation for individual existence. High Counselor Zixara, their four arms moving in complex patterns of excitement, spoke up. Captain Rodriguez, your species' contribution cannot be overstated. Humanity's Plan Omega and the Babel Protocol have ushered in a new era. We propose the formation of a new governing body, one that unites the Confederation, Earth, and the collective. We would be honored if you would lead this initiative. Rodriguez felt the weight of the galaxy settling on her shoulders. This was far beyond the duties of a starship captain. But as she looked around the chamber, seeing the hope in the eyes and other sensory organs of the assembled representatives, she knew her answer. I accept, she said, her voice firm. But on one condition: this new order must be built on the principles of equality, innovation, and mutual growth. No more dismissing newcomers or mocking primitive ideas. Our strength lies in our diversity. As the council erupted in applause, Dr. Aisha Patel and Kai Nakamura entered the chamber. Their presence, once barely tolerated, was now eagerly anticipated. Honored representatives, Dr. Patel began, her eyes shining with barely contained excitement. Our work with the collective has yielded astonishing results. We are on the brink of understanding the fundamental forces that shape reality itself. Kai stepped forward, a holographic display springing to life before him. We call it the Cosmic Code, he explained. It's like the source code of the universe. With the collective's knowledge and our unique human perspective, we're beginning to unravel its mysteries. The implications were staggering. Control over gravity, manipulation of space-time, even the possibility of creating new universes, all were suddenly within reach. The chamber buzzed with excited chatter, minds racing with the possibilities. But it was Skith, the once cynical AXA representative, who raised the crucial question: and how do we ensure this power is not abused? How do we prevent the mistakes of the past, where advanced races lorded over the less developed? A thoughtful silence fell over the chamber. It was a valid concern, one that struck at the heart of their new coalition's principles. Rodriguez stepped forward, her face set in determination. We learn from our history, she said firmly. We establish safeguards, ethical guidelines that are built into the very fabric of our new technologies. But more importantly, we commit to education and inclusion. Every race, no matter how new or seemingly primitive, has something valuable to contribute. Our strength is in our unity, in the beautiful chaos of our combined perspectives. As if to underscore her point, a shimmering form materialized in the center of the chamber. It was a representative of the quantum collective, its appearance a mesmerizing blend of energy and matter. We have existed for eons. The being's thoughts resonated in the minds of all present. We have seen the birth and death of galaxies. Yet, in our encounter with your kind, We have learned something new, the value of individual experience, of limited perspective. We offer our knowledge freely, but we also come seeking to learn. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, each race eager to engage with this new ally. The air crackled with possibility. In the months that followed, the galaxy underwent a transformation unlike any in its history. The new governing body, dubbed the Cosmic Concordat, oversaw an explosion of scientific and cultural exchange. Barriers between races dissolved as the pursuit of knowledge and understanding took center stage. Earth, once dismissed as a backwater planet, became a hub of innovation. The human touch, that unique blend of creativity, adaptability, and slightly insane determination, proved to be the catalyst that brought the galaxy's disparate elements together. New technologies reshaped the fabric of society. The cosmic code led to breakthroughs in energy production, solving scarcity issues that had plagued many worlds for millennia. Faster-than-light travel was revolutionized, opening up previously unreachable areas of the galaxy. But perhaps the most profound change was philosophical. The integration of the quantum collective's vast perspective with the vibrant individuality of the Confederation races led to new forms of art, music, and literature that defied traditional understanding. Consciousness itself became a new frontier of exploration. As Captain Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, the massive new headquarters of the Cosmic Concordat, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The tiny fleet that everyone had mocked had become the vanguard of a galactic revolution. A shimmer of energy beside her coalesced into the form of a quantum collective representative. "You ponder the past," it communicated. "We see futures branching out before us, infinite possibilities born from this union of perspectives." Rodriguez smiled. "That's the beauty of it," she replied. "We've created something entirely new, something that honors both the vastness of cosmic scales and the preciousness of individual experience." As she gazed out at the star-studded expanse, ships of all shapes and sizes zipping to and fro, Rodriguez felt a profound sense of hope. The galaxy had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but fundamentally transformed. The age of division was over. The age of true cosmic harmony had begun. And at the heart of it all was the indomitable human spirit, the driving force that had turned a mocked tiny fleet into the architects of a new galactic order. As news of these developments spread across the cosmos, beings on countless worlds looked up at their skies with newfound wonder. The universe, vast and mysterious as it was, suddenly felt a little bit smaller, a little bit kinder, and infinitely more exciting. The greatest adventure in the history of all sentient life was just beginning.